Three,
Fuck it.
two,
Annoying as shit.
one, and hold for Q.
Oh shit, I need my script.
Hello and welcome to Cabin Fever Radio. Season 3, where an isolated group of talented actors and creators come together to stave off their madness and yours and keep us all entertained through dramatic readings of your favorite movies and TV shows, along with original material. This episode is sponsored by Radio Films and Cabin Fever Radio, and we'll hear more about them later in the show. I am your host for the evening, Mr. David Rano, and for this season, we are focusing on feature-length films. But today, we have a special, awesomely delicious, organic, grass-fed, crunchy episode. Joining us for the reading is Robert Christopher Smith,
Batman,
Marissa Martin, Braxton Ray, Rob Fury,
Hello.
Jess Burnell, and David Ross. And the story is called The Funny Feline Felonies from the cult TV show Batman. Be sure to follow us on Cabin Fever Radio on all social media platforms. The links are in the description below. And you can stay up to date with all the original content that we have, like Vengeance Turns, that is premiering its first produced chapter today. So you guys could hear that episode today on all major platforms such as Spotify and Apple Music. Crunch. And if we're all ready to go, and if you're listening on Instagram, go to cabinfeverradio.com so you can see us live in full glory.
With all of this. Again,
I am Mr. David Rano. You are listening to Cabin Fever Radio, and we are reading Batman. Braxton.
Cabin Fever Radio.
Okay, so let's fade in to Gotham City State Prison, a gray and foreboding edifice. You know, it rather than patriotism has been the last refuge of many a scoundrel.
Morning at the Gotham State Prison and in the office of Warden Christian, an old foe is saying his farewell.
Warden Christian's office. The Joker, clad in an ordinary gray suit and, minus all the Joker stuff that's made him famous, he's shaking hands with the Warden as Bruce Wayne looks on and smiles. The Joker is unusually docile.
Oh, thank you, Warden Christian, for all your kind words on my behalf.
Well, you've been on your best behavior for several months now, Joker, and Mr. Wayne and I felt it should be rewarded.
As chairman of the parole board, I gave your case a great deal of scrutiny and am convinced you've mended your former ways.
They shake hands.
And so in keeping with our liberal penological practices, we are releasing you considerably ahead of time.
Like 64 years ahead of time. It's not silk, but it's honestly made by my fellow inmates. I guess I have to get used to civilian clothes.
Christian hands Joker a $10 bill, expounds expansively.
With this $10 bill, we hope that you will seek a new life on the outside, replete with good citizenship and fine deeds.
Joker's taking that money.
$10. I used to light my cigars with $10 bills.
Joker takes out 2 cigars out of his breast pocket and offers it.
How about a cigar to celebrate this occasion?
Don't mind if I do.
No, thanks. I never used tobacco in any form.
Joker lights the cigars, Bruce expects it to explode.
Very good. I sort of expected it would explode.
Explode? You must me have confused with someone else, Warden. I'm a reformed man. Nice seeing you again.
He exits.
I wonder who's picking him up from the drive to Gotham City.
Let's take a look.
Scene change to the prison gate. Joker walks through a small door adjoining the gate and looks both ways. Catwoman drives up in her kitty car.
Hello, big boy. Muzzle it.
Make this look good, Catwoman. Pull the gun on me the way we planned. We're probably watching us right now.
She pulls out a gun.
Get in this car or I'll blow what little brains you have out.
She's kidnapping me. Honest. Nice going.
They drive off. Now we're back in Christian's office. Bruce and Christian.
Oh, kidnapped? By Catwoman? Well, he's barely out of prison.
Moves to the telephone.
I'd better call Commissioner Gordon at once.
But Bruce picks up the telephone.
I'll take care of that, Warden. Perhaps you can get some of your men after that pair before they get too far away.
Good idea.
Bruce dials. Next scene, we're in the Batcave. Alfred and Robin are busy tinkering with the Batmobile as the phone rings. Alfred walks in to answer it.
Stanley Wayne Manor.
Plug me into the bat phone and stand by, Alfred.
Consider it done, sir.
Alfred pulls a small wire from the base of the black phone and attaches it to the bat phone. Next scene. Christian's office, we're back there. Bruce presses the hold button and dials another button. Next scene, the Commissioner Gordon's office. Commissioner Gordon is at his desk, and Barbara Gordon and Chief O'Hara flank him.
I only have an hour for lunch, Dad.
Yes, dear. Now, let's see. Is there anything I've left undone?
We're going to order police protection for this afternoon's lovin'.
I'll take care of that later. Let's go.
Just as he walks out from behind his desk, the regular phone rings. He takes the call.
Yes.
Next scene.
This is Bruce Wayne, Commissioner. Joker was released from prison this afternoon and immediately kidnapped by Catwoman.
That's frightening news, Bruce. But thanks for the calling, I guess.
He hangs up.
What's wrong,
Now-
Daddy? You look like the world's just come to an end.
It's far worse than that, my dear. Far worse.
Agora. It must be pretty bad.
I'll take a rain check on our lunch date, Daddy.
Commissioner Gordon nods absently and activates the bat phone as Barbara exits. Next scene, we're back in the Batcave. Alfred and Robin watch as the bat phone beeps, and it is switched automatically into the black phone after a suitable phone type noise. Boop.
Yep.
Bruce holds the phone.
Yes, Commissioner. You're calling to tell me the Catwoman kidnapped Joker.
I might have realized you'd be on top of You do? I might have realized you'd be on top of the situation, Batman. It seems I'm always the last one to know anything.
We'll be right there.
Next scene, Christian's office. Bruce hasn't noticed, but Christian just walked into the room.
Leaving Mr. Wayne.
Yes, Warden. In the light of today's happenings, I believe I'll forsake my usual inspection tour. Any luck?
Well, I've set up roadblocks at all major highway points leaving Gotham City.
And we're going to dramatically close in on him as the scene ends. And now we're going to continue the scene.
Christian's talking.
It's a slim chance. But our only hope, with Joker in the feline clutches of Catwoman, who knows what all of us may be facing.
And now we're going to cut really fast to the drive-thru and the kitty car. And now the teaser ends. Yes. So we're going to fade back in. And we're going to exit from the Batcave. The Batmobile roars out of the cave. The barrier flips down, and then it flips up. And now we're on the road. Batwoman and Joker tootle along in the kitty car. And now we're on the city street. And Joker and Catwoman drive around. And now the Batmobile arrives at the police headquarters. As the duo leap out and enter the building, super. They're very super. And now we're in a sleazy hotel.
And shortly in a sleazy hotel across the street from police headquarters.
The Joker steps out of a closet. He's now wearing his regular purple suit. Slung over his arm is the cheap suit he wore earlier. Catwoman is seated at the window, adjusting a high-powered rifle of an unusual design. Slightly oversized and very colorful. Might have a cat emblem on the stock. Who knows?
Thank you for my old suit, Catwoman. I felt out of place in the other one.
Joker. But now you're back to your handsome self.
During this, she rises and puts a large bullet-shaped object in the gun. She has a piece of parchment tucked under her belt.
What are you doing?
Telescopic lens on this cat gun affords me a fine and magnified view of Commissioner Gordon's office, right across the street.
Joker looks across the street.
So it does. So it does. And unless my youthful eyes are deceiving me, that looks like the dynamic dimwits in that office. You going to kill them? I hope.
She takes a position on her knees where she can rest her elbows on the window ledge and shakes her head no.
No, Joker. Just going to send Batman the first of several little tokens of my affection.
The first?
Yes. He's an evilly clever as we are. He'll no doubt figure out where my memento came from and pay a call on this hotel room.
We better go.
We will, but I'll leave a second token of my devotion in our place.
She aims. And then the scene changes to Commissioner Gordon's office. Commissioner Gordon is seated behind his desk, flanked by Chief O'Hara. Batman and Robin stand opposite. Window to outside is open, and Batman paces back and forth in front of it.
We seem to have our work cut out for us, all right.
I should say we do. Anytime two arch criminals get together, Gotham City and perhaps the world is in enormous difficulty.
But Catwoman kidnapped Joker. Maybe he sincerely wants to go straight.
We hear the whine of a bullet come through the open window and hit the wall.
Mother Mary, we're under attack!
All four of them hit the floor and scramble behind the furniture. Chief O'Hara goes for his gun and starts shooting out the window.
Cease fire, Chief O'Hara! We can't tell which direction that bullet came from, and innocent people might be hurt.
He holsters his gun. Now we're going to look really deeply at Batman. The projectile sticks out of the wall. Batman pulls it out, crawls on his stomach to Commissioner Gordon's desk. The other three crawl in close, and now all five lie on their stomachs in a semicircle. Batman opens the projectile. Inside is a message, which he unravels and reads out loud.
It appears to be a letter of some sort.
Holy special delivery!
This one was just a warning, Batman. The next one will be between your eyelids.
Any signature?
It's signed, a well-wisher.
Sounds like someone interested in your welfare.
Batman and Robin crawl towards the window.
The rest of you stay put.
They approach the window. Barbara Gordon walks in and she looks around.
Somebody lose a contact lens?
Get down, Barbara!
Barbara gets down. Batman and Robin peek over the top of the window.
It must have come from that sleazy hotel across the street.
Batman looks over his shoulder at the place where the bullet went into the wall.
Judging from the trajectory and the angle and figuring the wind at 6 knots per hour, north by northeast, as per the news this morning's weather report, X over 6 square times, anyone have a calculator, a bat calculator? It came from that room on the 6th floor.
He points to the window, then he and Robin crawl across the room to the door.
We'll let you know if we find anything.
They get out of range of the window, they stand, brush themselves off, and they rush out. Barbara calls to the door.
I'll see you later, Daddy. I just dropped by to see if the world had ended.
It ain't running along any too smoothly.
Don't go outside, Barbara. Your life may be in danger.
Just gonna repair my hosiery. I ran a stocking when I hit the floor.
And she leaves. And now, the next scene, the corridor outside of Gordon's office. Barbara crosses to a marked door, the ladies' room. She looks both ways, then walks in.
Lacking the time to return to her apartment, Barbara Gordon utilizes her portable bat change costume in the ladies' lounge and within seconds emerges as...
The door opens and Batgirl walks out.
Batgirl, the domino daredevil. Batgirl, the domino daredevil of Daring Do.
And now we're going to change scenes to a sleazy hotel room, which is the door is being jimmied open from the outside. Immediately, it opens. We see that the duo has been doing their jimmying, and they enter very cautiously, as if expecting someone might shoot them. When they see no one isn't in there, they just start searching the place, and, they see the old suit that Joker wore in a pile in the corner. Doesn't seem to be anybody around here. You sure this is the room?
Positive. That's the suit Joker wore when he was released.
Batman takes out a batmifying glass and examines the window ledge. As he does this, Robin sees a scrap of paper on the floor, picks it up, looks at it, and puts it on the small table.
No fingerprints, but judging from the familiar scent of cat lily perfume, which is Catwoman's trademark, and the suit, I would assume that they both were here less than 3 minutes ago. You find anything?
A scrap of paper, nothing more. Batgirl walks in. Batgirl, what are you doing here?
Just thought I might be able to lend a glove, so that speak.
Constantly amaze me, Batgirl. I've yet to figure out how you manage to keep on top of a caper as quickly as we do.
Tea leaves, Batman, the stars, crystal gazing, all part of a woman crime fighter's arsenal. Any clues?
I get it, chick stuff. Enough to tell us we're dealing with Catwoman and the Joker.
During this, Batgirl notices the scrap of paper Robin put aside, moves in its direction, surreptitiously slips it in her Batgirl belt.
How can I help?
I'm afraid until we find something more tangible, you can't.
Then it's hello and goodbye, at least for now.
She walks to the door, Batman watching her go.
At least for now.
She exits. That scrap of paper, Batman, it's gone!
Batgirl slipped it in her belt when she didn't think I was watching.
Oh, you think she's trying to double cross us?
More chick stuff. No, she's a woman, Robin, with a woman's inborn desire to try and outsmart men. Impossible. Let's see what her tea leaves, stars, and crystal gazing come up with next.
You got it, Batman. The next scene, the cat lair. A preposterous place, furnished in a combination of fur and fun. Catwoman's unusual stuff is in evidence. The cat chair, various cat rugs, and other catty accessories.
And in an abandoned loft above a novelty company, Catwoman is showing Joker his novelty. Sorry. And in an abandoned loft above a novelty company, Catwoman is showing Joker his new domain.
Like it, Joker?
It's me. It's like I never left home. You certainly have an eye for decorations.
Now it's time to meet my cat's paws. Front and center, henchmen.
Two men walk out from behind a curtain. They wear the standard cat shirts, but they are made up in the chalky white face Joker wears, and they both have green hair. On their cheeks are their names.
This is Giggler.
It'll be nice. So nice working with you, Joker.
And Laughter.
I always wanted to team up with you, Joker. It's the realization of my boyhood dream.
Thanks, fellas. Keeping me smiling.
They're good men, Joker. Perfect beside the camp for our evil crime spree. Don't you think?
Perfect, Catwoman. And speaking of evil crime sprees...
Shall I catalog it for you, Joker?
Categorically, Catwoman.
All right. Cast your eyes on this.
She produces the piece of paper she's been carrying in her belt, lays it on a table, and spreads it out. It's very old and almost decaying. Very faintly written on it is a poem. One piece is torn off the edge.
A poem?
Yes, Joker.
The two henchmen, they re-enter to see what's happening.
A poem handwritten over 200 years ago during the French and Indian War. I purloined it from the library. It was written by Garçon Maltese, the famous crook, and it's a clue to 1 million pounds of gunpowder he stole and hid someplace in the environs of Gotham City.
Oh, now you're talking. 1 million of anything is a lot.
We're going to find that gunpowder, blow a hole in the Federal Depository building. You could drive a truck right through. Then drive a truck through and loot the place.
Why not we just heist a bunch of dynamite?
Too simple and much less fun than being devilishly clever, Joker. After all, we're not common thieves. Listen. Gunpowder is what you shall find should you have a most logical mind. Enriches your wallow if you carefully follow the clue I have herein consigned.
Oh, his iambic pentameter is a little off. What he should have said was...
My old nightshirt will do for a start. In its hem is a clue, that's a chart. Then from there find my crib. On its side is a fib. And my powder is yours, if you're smart.
Your voice has a nice lit, Catwoman. But what does it all mean?
I've located the nightshirt and the crib. Our next move is to purloin them, and, if possible, permanently purge Batman, Batgirl, and Robin, the boy wonder.
Do they know about this poem?
If they don't, they should, shortly. The missing corner of this piece of parchment was intentionally left in that Fleabag hotel room, and they're clever adversaries. I'm sure that, very shortly, they'll join in our...
little cat and mouse game.
You put it perfectly, Joker.
And they laugh and laugh and laugh. And we cut to the library, where Barbara Gordon walks along some cabinets looking for something.
Meanwhile, back in her guise as a mild-mannered librarian.
Barbara holds the piece of torn parchment. She looks at it, frowns, then walks to a glass cabinet and peers in. A sign above the cabinet reads, "Examples of poetry, circa 1754 to 63. She looks hard at the cabinets. She sees something. Now walks to the machine that has a sign that reads, "Microfilm Records."
The document she wants is missing, but the Gotham City Library makes microcopies of everything.
So Barbara punches a few buttons on the machine, and what happens? We change scenes, and the secret Batgirl closet off of Barbara's bedroom, in which Barbara is completing her change into who? Batgirl. That's who.
Batgirl. And shortly again, in the secret Batgirl closet of Barbara Gordon's bedroom.
She finishes her transformation and activates her wall iris.
The tricky transformation has been made again.
Batgirl steps through the iris and she mounts her Batgirl cycle.
And Batgirl is off to pursue the clue.
Her iris closes. And now we're in the alley with Batgirl on her Batgirl cycle.
Barbara Gordon found the library.
And now we're in the Commissioner Gordon's office. And Gordon is on the phone at his desk, and Chief O'Hara is beside him.
We're leaving at once. Mayor Lindsay?
He hangs up.
Is either can't cut a ribbon opening, the new Gotham Narrows Bridge without our presence, Chief O'Hara?
I guess he wants a touch of class.
They exit, and we're back to Batgirl. She peeks in. She sees no one's there, steps inside the room, and walks to the Bat phone. Batgirl lifts the plexiglass cover and depresses the phone. It beeps. And then the next scene, we're in Wayne Manor's study, and Alfred walks towards the phone to answer it when Bruce and Dick walk in.
I'll take it, Alfred.
All right, sir.
Yes, Commissioner.
This is Batgirl, Batman.
Batgirl on Commissioner Gordon's red phone. How?
As there are secrets in crime fighting Batman, so should each crime fighter be allowed his or her secret.
Agreed.
But I believe I've come upon something which may help you in your search for Catwoman and the Joker.
Crystal gazing again, Batgirl, more chick stuff?
This time I used cards. Just meet me immediately at the apartment of Little Louie Groovy, 27 disk drive.
Little Louie Groovy, the teenage tycoon who's never missed producing a million-seller record. What does he have to do with this case?
He owns something that may be a clue, but we have to hurry. Every second is precious. The robbery may be taking place already.
You know what, Batgirl? We'll be right there.
And now we're in Wayne's Manor study. Dick is already at Shakespeare's head. What's up?
A theft at Little Louie Groovy's apartment.
Gosh, Bruce, I've always wanted to meet him.
And I suspect you're being lured into just such a meeting.
You mean it's a trap?
A bullet in Commissioner Gordon's wall, a fragment of paper in a cheap hotel room, and a puzzling call from Batgirl. Alfred, wake up!
Do be careful, sire.
Any calculated risk demands caution, Alfred. To the bat poles.
They run across the room. They leap down the bat poles, and now we're in the Batcave, and they appear as Batman and Robin. They jump into the Batmobile, and they roar out. And now we're in Little Louis Groovy's apartment. Little Louis Groovy, a very short, very young man, is preparing to go to bed in his four-poster. He's not yet 20, wears long hair and a beard. At the moment, he stands in front of the mirror practicing karate poses. He wears an old embroidered nightshirt. Standing next to him is a fawning sycophant dressed in a business suit, Fred Fandango. Several barbells and weights are strewn around the room.
All right, Square. Out. I have to practice my karate and go to sleep. Big recording session set for midnight.
Why can't you work all day and sleep all night like normal people?
Hiya! If you don't like the way I operate, get yourself another boy.
Sorry, Louis. You know we all love you, sweetheart, baby.
I gotta make all my money fast. In 3 more years, I'll be 19. Too old for all the music business. Over the hill. It's no wonder I'm insecure. Hiya!
Who are you recording tonight? You never tell me anymore.
New group I discovered about 20 minutes ago, called the Gotham Boulevard Off-Ramp. They ought to have a #1 record by the end of, they ought to have a #1 record by the week from tomorrow or Tuesday, okay? Split.
Anything you say, Louis. You're the boss.
You know it, Fred.
Fandango exits. Louis does a few more poses in front of the mirror, now removing his hair. It's a long-haired wig. Actually, Louis has a crew cut. Next, Louis removes his beard by stripping it off. And, we can see that he really is, very young, less than 20. So he's a teenager? Okay, anyway, now he checks his face for acne, finds none, and walks to the bed. He picks up a sleep shade, puts it over his eyes, and he gets into bed. Catwoman, Joker, and the henchman walk in through the French windows.
Little Louis, you just slipped a groove.
What?
Louis leaps out of bed. He forgets he's wearing his sleep shade, trips on his barbell, and sprawls on the floor. Now he remembers his sleep shade, takes it off, and assumes his karate position.
If you're here to rob me, I should warn you that, I know I am, a karate expert, and I can, totally hurt you. Stay back.
Okay, so the henchmen, they don't even believe him, so they just advance toward him, and he steps forward and yells.
Ah! Ah! Dude! Ah!
Catwoman gestures towards the henchmen to take a step back, and they lean in, and Catwoman whispers.
Karate isn't effective unless accompanied by yelling. Let him howl until he sprains a vocal cord. Then take him in.
The men move in and out away from Louis. He jumps at them and yells a few times. Each time he yells, it's softer. Finally, it is a poor imitation of a frog's croak.
Yeah! Yeah, dude! Yeah!
He clutches his throat.
I can't yell anymore. I'm done for.
Catwoman gives the signal.
All right, men, now.
They walk over to Louis and blow at him. He falls over in a heap. Giggler and Chortler remove his nightshirt. He wears shorts underneath.
I have to give you credit, Catwoman. I thought this place would be in shambles because of the fight.
It may yet be that, Joker.
Catwoman and Joker turn to face Batman and Robin.
So, Batman, you found us.
As you planned, perhaps, Catwoman.
The mere thought of pulling a caper without your masked meddling would be most perturbing to me.
So you found us, you have. And get you we will.
At a signal to henchmen, they converge on duo as we do into the Bat Fight. A battle royale ensues with a lot of things happening. Catwoman stands aside and watches as Joker joins in on the others in this fight. Louis Groovy revives and watches his beautiful pad get demolished. The bed collapses when Batman tosses Laughter on top of it. Robin bops Giggler with a statue and breaks it over his head. Batman and Robin bounce Laughter and Giggler off of Louis' couch. The drapes are pulled down over Joker's eyes. Louis Groovy runs from broken items to other things that he is running to. He just does not know what's happening. And the fight ends as the henchmen lie dazed around the place. Joker stands next to Catwoman. Louis Groovy, still in his shorts, presents an itemized bill to Batman and Robin. He brushes away his tears because, his place just got trashed. And he is very annoyed.
You guys rent my apartment. It'll cost me over $11,000 to replace all these goodies.
Someday 11,000 will seem like nothing. Never fear, Mr. Groovy. Restitution will be made, even if Catwoman and Joker have to work the remainder of their lives to do it. I can understand why you went to all this trouble to steal a nightshirt.
Catwoman whispers to him.
He doesn't even know about the gunpowder. Give him a catchy story.
Joker steps forward and turns on his dubious charm.
Oh, it was all Catwoman's fault, fellas. If you recall, it was she who kidnapped me.
You cat fink!
She told me Louis Groovy was a hip cat, and it might be fun if we stole the cat's pajamas. And if you know how I'm about practical jokes, I couldn't resist. You understand, don't you?
The cat's pajamas? What does that mean, Batman?
It's an archaic slang. Sorry about that. There's like a bomb went off. An archaic slang phrase of the 1920s, Robin, meaning something remarkable or noteworthy.
Oh, okay.
You must have flipped a raspberry, Joker. You're farting everywhere to allow yourself to be talked into something this stupid.
Oh, agreed. You're absolutely and positively right. I have made a dreadful mistake.
Joker puts out his hand.
So let's let bygones be bygones. I'd like to shake hands with you both. Can't we be friends?
I'd rather shake hands with a spitting cobra, Joker.
Don't be so cynical, Robin. Perhaps he's repented. There may yet be hope for the poor fellow. I'll shake his hand.
Okay. I might as well too. They both take Joker's hands. Robin the left, Batman the right. We hear a buzz, and the dynamic duo's eyes cross, and they shake as if many volts of electricity are going through them. I guess Joker got them.
Not exactly, Batman.
Another practical joke, Joker. Now say that again.
Batman and Robin slowly sink to their knees.
Not exactly, Batman. It's my lethal joke buzzer. One by one, your 5 senses will leave you. Then your lungs will collapse, and shortly you'll be kaput, finis, defunct. Sorry we can't stay around for the big finish, but I'll always treasure the memories of this moment. Let's go.
They start to move out. Laughter picks up a piece of statuary. Louis rushes to him. And Louis says,
Oh. Hey, that's an original Zachariah.
Laughter bops him on the head with the statue, and Louis goes down.
Quite playing around, Laugher. We've no time for fun and games.
What you may lack in class, Joker, you more than make up for in style.
They exit. Batman and Robin lie in a stupor. Their eyes get glassy, their breath is labored. It looks like nothing can save them as we go out.
And we will go out into a quick intermission. But first, this episode is brought to you by Cabin Fever Radio.
We're Batman.
Cabin Fever Radio, a growing new broadcasting channel with a lot to offer the world. Storytelling, weekend live streams, radio novellas, comic reviews, and now a new fully produced original radio show and podcast called Vengeance Turns. It takes place in 1876 California. A young woman loses everything, including her beloved husband, son, and daughter, in a violent attack that leaves her for dead, with the lust for bloody vengeance that turns her into a murderous vigilante. Premiering today, you can listen to Vengeance Turns on all major platforms such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can get a direct link to the first chapter on the description below, or simply go to vengeanceturns.com. That is vengeanceturns.com. vengeanceturns.com for a lot more. What are you waiting for? Go check it out. Check out the show after the show, because we're still going to continue, and let us know what you think. And if you enjoy, share. Remember, that is vengeanceturns.com.
Sharing is caring, people. Sharing is caring.
You own it, 'cause it feels so damn good.
Whew. That was pretty fun, for sure. And again, to all our viewers, we're going to have a quick little 5-minute, 10-minute intermission in case anybody needs to go tend one or get water or whatever. I will be fixing some of the stream issues that we've been having, but that's on a side note. But yeah, so what do you guys think of Batman?
I'm Batman.
Yeah, super fun. Bobby, you're killing me, man.
Braxton is killing me, and Braxton,
yeah, too.
Thank you for carrying the torch, dude. Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm reading, and half the time, like, I'm reading the wrong thing.
And,
so I'm like,
and you know what? That makes it work.
You've
right?
been there. It's great.
That seems to be the magic of being the action reader. Is just go into it without like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Don't know what the
Man,
fuck's
it's
going
yours.
on.
We're in the sleazy hotel now, I guess. fucking love it.
We changed scenes.
You changed season on the sleazy hotel.
Guess what's gonna happen now?
Later.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we changed scenes. Yeah. Good.
I love how well Catwoman fits Jess.
I love. She's doing an Eartha
That's
Kitt
true.
thing, man. There is ghost of Eartha Kitt in the fucking house tonight.
Yeah, seriously, she's killing me.
I'm not messing with ghosts right now, bro. Chill with
No
that.
messing with ghosts.
No messing with ghosts. We don't have any Ghostbusters in right now. And I'm
Dude,
very sure Bill Murray.
You know what, Rob? I ain't afraid of no ghost. There's a song about that, and I ain't afraid of no ghost. It goes.
That's good for you.
Bum,
When-
bum, boo-doo.
When you wake up with your kidneys missing and
When you wake
your
up,
eyeballs,
when there's-
like,
and you
raining-
know
Dude,
you're
when there's
gonna be,
something-
you're gonna
When there's
be
something
not
bad in the
ghost.
neighborhood, who are you gonna call? That's what I want to know. Seriously.
Myself.
I'm
When it
gonna
don't
run
look
my ass
good-
out of that neighborhood.
When it don't look good,
I will call Batgirl.
no man,
You're gonna call
Batgirl.
He-Man.
On a quick little note, again, to our viewers who are watching currently, I am gonna reset the live stream real quick. Just let you guys know everything's gonna still run smoothly.
David, I did not have the shirt in here earlier, so if you want to do another mention, like as we go back in, I could hold it up again because I did not have it to hold up in the earlier mention.
Oh,
Achoo.
Oh my gosh, Marissa sneezed so much that she turned into a universe.
Oh my God, she blew her face off.
Ah.
Oh, you have to do that for a video. That's true. Come back as that. Ah!
Wow.
She stared into the void, and the void stared back.
I want to thank everyone who's been watching us thus far. As we mentioned, this episode is sponsored by Cabin Fever Radio, introducing Vengeance Turns as a premiere release today on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and other major platforms. And we will have merch like the merch that you see right now, Vengeance Turns t-shirt. And
Yes, that I was going to do the other way.
before we go into the next section, I also want to say, if I get all the buttons correctly, this episode, wait, hold.
Wait for it.
Here we go. This episode is also sponsored by Rono Films. Ever had a friend say, "Let's make a podcast, yay!" But how though? It might become overwhelming when you see how much other content creators spend on gear for it, from professional microphones, mixers, soundboard, software, even just the table that they might be using for their equipment. But is it really the case to start your own podcast? No. You don't need billions or thousands of dollars to start a podcast. All you need is a few items that you probably already have and a message you want to share with the world. But if you want to know more in detail of what you need to start a podcast, from something simple and to the point to something grand and magnificent, Rono Films is at your service. Rono Films is a production company that works hand in hand with podcasters, filmmakers, writers, actors, and creators, and can help you start your journey as a speaker. So contact Rono Films for a free consultation by mentioning Cabin Fever Radio via their contact page at ronofilms.com. That is RUANOFILMS.com. Don't forget to mention Cabin Fever Radio, and they will help you get your voice heard.
Heard.
Thank you,
heard.
Rono Films.
Thank you.
Sweet. And with that on hand and dealt with, we could go on to the next section of the Batman TV show episode, The Funny Feline Felonies.
So, we're back, and we're back in little Louis Groovy's bedroom, and he's still unconscious. And Batman and Robin are lying completely motionless. Batgirl races in and to Batman's side. So just forget about Robin, I guess. Okay, whatever. She holds a mirror in front of his face and takes his pulse.
3 beats a minute. Not good.
She reaches into her utility belt, and as she reaches, she takes out her tin of Batgirl antidote pills. She slips the magic pills under both of theirs tongue. They immediately respond by stirring, then they open their eyes.
What took you so long?
Our traffic, plus the lights were against me. You wouldn't want me to speed, would you?
Your good girl driving habits almost cost us our lives.
Rules are rules, Robin. But you do have a point. We're more important than other people.
Batman now manages to get to his feet, as does Robin. The boy wonder walks to Louis. Louis is half awake. Robin holds a glass of water for him. Here, take this.
Champagne, man. I want champagne.
Robin drinks the water himself.
How did you know Catwoman and Joker would be here?
It's all written in a poem they have in their possession, Batman. The nightshirt they stole and a cradle are clues to an enormous cache of gunpowder.
Where is the cradle?
In the possession of Carnaby Cats, the devil may care. In the possession of Carnaby Cats, the devil may care. Men's clothing designer from Londinium.
Let's go.
Batman and Batgirl race out. Robin follows. Louis pours the pitcher of water over his head. And now we're in Carnaby Cat's house. And it's daytime. Carnaby Cat's, he's about 40 with a Cockney accent, is just regaining his senses. The living room, it's a mess. Batman, Robin, and Batgirl race in. They look at the damage.
Oh, my head.
We're too late.
Batman and Robin lift Katz to his feet. He's dressed in a very fashionable mod clothes. What happened, Mr. Katz?
The 17-year locust descended on me, Governor.
But they didn't touch the safe for my wife's jewels, or my collection of comic books, or anything valuable like that. All they took was a little cradle that I picked up at an antique store. Why do you suppose they did that?
That is the question.
How long ago did they leave?
Seconds before you walked in, I thought you might have met them on their way out.
I'm pacing. Do you have any idea of where this gunpowder might be, Batgirl? And any reason why they might desire it?
The poem would have led us to the clues, but without the clues, I'm afraid we're lost. We'll just have to wait for them to make the next move.
Where could they have disappeared to so quickly? Now we're in the garden of Cat's house. Hidden in the bushes are Catwoman, Joker, and the henchmen. From their vantage point, they have a clear view of the front of the house.
They're close. They're closer than you think, Boy Wonder. Just waiting outside to ambush you. Will Joker and Catwoman pounce on the dynamic trio? Will they make good on their perfidious plans to steal millions? For the answers to these and other cataclysmic questions, all you Bat fans watch for the next episode.
And guess what? We're in the next episode, okay? So we're in the cat's home, and it's daytime. Catwoman, Joker, and the two henchmen lurk in the bushes outside.
What is this? An ambush outside the home of millionaire Carnaby Cats, where Catwoman and the Joker and their evil cohorts lay wickedly in wait for Batgirl and the Batcaped Crusaders?
So we're in Cat's house. Cat is busy replacing the debris. Batman and Robin and Batgirl stand at the door.
And the worst part of it is I'm not insured for the loss of that cradle.
You have my word as guardian of justice. We'll do our utmost to get it back for you.
Thank you, Batman. Apologize for my voice changes.
I understand.
The dynamic trio exits, and we're still in the cat's house. The Batmobile and the Batcycle are parked near each other. Batman, Robin, and Batgirl walk to their respective vehicles.
I need those digits. Where can I get in touch with you in case we need any clues, Batgirl?
Where can I get in touch with you, Batman?
Don't try that. That has already become a bit of a problem. But I suppose we'll manage.
We have before.
They all climb into the Batmobile, and you know what? They drive out. She climbs aboard her Batgirl cycle and tries to start it. But that thing won't start. She looks around at the ignition to see what's wrong. Catwoman and Joker appear, though. Catwoman is holding a spark plug in her paw. Then Joker says,
Looking for something, Batgirl?
Like this spark plug, perhaps?
So you didn't leave.
Not only did we leave, but neither did our dependable cat's paws.
and from out of nowhere, the two henchmen spring at Catwoman. And there's a battle. And although she struggles valiantly, Batgirl is no match for the men. It's because there are two of them. The weight of numbers takes its toll. Batgirl is knocked down, but she is not out. The men holding her struggling body while Joker wraps up in what appears to be a very fine twine. So she's wrapped up now. And then Catwoman walks to Batgirl.
Ha! Won't she break through this thin twine, Catwoman?
I think not, Joker. Those cat's whiskers, a friendish invention of mine, automatically contract when placed in close contact with the heat of the human body. So, within minutes, Batgirl will strangle to death, thereby ridding Gotham City of 1/3 of the terrific trio. You see, when I do a job, I do it right.
Couldn't you have rid Gotham City of Robin instead? Batgirl has so many fine attributes. And why don't we attack them all while we're in it?
There are only 4 of us, Joker, but 3 of them. The odds would have been most perturbing. Finished?
Yes, Catwoman. And soon so is she.
Then let's get back to the Novelty Company and plan our next cataclysmic move.
And they are out of there. And we're going to look at Batgirl now. She is writhing and moving and rolling on the grass, trying to free herself, with each move, she appears to be losing more strength as the cat's whiskers contract.
What an appalling predicament this is. The more Batgirl struggles, the tighter the cat's whiskers become. Is there a way out? You'll know in 1 minute.
So let's say 1 minute has passed by. That's the end of the teaser, so you know what that means. I need that music now. And we're back. We fade into the cat's house. Okay, and we're going to close in on Batgirl. And she is still struggling in these infernal clutches of the cat's whiskers, and her strength is just awaiting. Okay, so now we're going to look at the kitty car, though. And seated in front of the car are Catwoman and Joker. And they are just laughing. But okay, we're back to the cat's house, and we're back on Batgirl, okay? And she is just rolling across these sections of lawn towards something. Maybe she's found a way out. I don't know. Okay, and now Batgirl maneuvers herself towards these control buttons, and Now, with a final burst of strength, she manages to push the button with her head, and the sprinkler starts spraying all around her. And she now rolls through the watery action a moment, and then the twines loosen, and she's able to start wriggling herself out of it.
Voila! Free at last, as the sprinkler system causes the cat's whiskers to expand rather than contract.
Oh, yeah. So Batgirl is lying on the lawn. She is painting from her ordeal. After a second of relieved breathing, she slips the remainder of the evil twine off of her body, and she's a little dizzy, but she gets up and she is on her feet. She walks wearily to the front door, and she presses the doorbell. The chimes play, and the door opens to reveal Cats. He smiles at the sight of Batgirl.
Well, well, well. If I'd known you wanted to take a dip, you could have used my pool. Like to change into something more comfortable? I just like to use the phone.
Cat shrugs, lets her walk by him inside. And now we're going to look at the Batcave, and the Batmobile drives in. It stops, and Batman and Robin get out. Alfred is there wearing a small apron and holding a tray with sandwiches and milk. How nice. Batman and Robin walk to him.
You look a trifle harassed, gentlemen. Perhaps these snacks will help.
So Batman's looking at this food, and he's not in the mood for sandwiches, but Robin came to eat, okay?
Thank you, Alfred. Food may be the way to a man's heart, but I'm afraid it's not going to help us solve our latest problem with Joker and Catwoman.
Oh, I could force myself to take a bite. He picks up a sandwich as the bat phone beeps. Batman answers it as Robin eats that food.
Yes, Commissioner.
Commissioner Gordon in his office.
Batgirl just called me, Batman. She wants you to meet her at the intersection of Cattail Lane and Nine Lives Alley as soon as possible.
Those names make sense. That's just behind the Novelty Manufacturing Center of Gotham City.
She's holding.
Commissioner.
She's holding on the other phone. Shall I tell her you'll be there?
By all means, Commissioner.
He hangs up, and Robin, he's eating another sandwich, and I'm really happy for him, not gonna lie.
Cattail Lane, Nine Lives Alley. I think the Grimalkin Novelty Company is located on that corner.
Grimalkin? What kind of name is that?
An obscure but nevertheless acceptable synonym for cat, Robin. Let's go.
Robin swallows the remainder of his sandwich in one gulp.
Impressive.
As we turn to the Batcave, the duo race to the Batmobile, and they leap in. They put on their seatbelts because safety first. Heck yeah.
Safety first.
And now we're in the Batcave. In the Batmobile, it roars out. And the Batmobile exits that cave.
Exit!
Then the narrator comes in with...
What now?
But while the dynamic duo make the trek back to Gotham City, Catwoman and Joker have already put their plan into motion.
And now we're in the Novelty Company building. The camera we look at the sign door, and it reads Grimalkin Novelty Company. And now we're back in the cat lair. Catwoman and Joker stand at the table and pores over their work. In the background, the henchmen do something to occupy their time. Catwoman holds up the nightshirt and scans it.
This is the map which will lead us to the location of the gun. Power hidden over 200 years ago by Garcon Maltese, the famous crook.
That nightshirt is a map?
It's perfectly obvious, Joker. And thanks to it, we'll steal the gunpowder and blast our way in and out of the Federal Depository.
That a funny map with no printing on it.
It's the shape that's persuasive, Joker. This is a chart of Phony Island on the southern tip of Gotham City.
And this X is on the leeward end. And that's where the stuff is, right?
Wrong. X does not mark the spot. It is the starting place. To get the exact location, we have to look at the cradle leg. It's written backwards and in French, so we must hold it up to a mirror. Get a French dictionary for my bookcase.
And then she walks to a full-length mirror. She looks at herself in the mirror, and she's working it. Then she looks at the cradle leg. The Joker walks over to her carrying a French dictionary. As she reads the inscription, Joker will be frantically leafing through the dictionary and making notes on a pad next to the mirror.
Now, I don't know how to read French, but I'm going to do my best. De l'eau de plan, marcher sequan matrice amor, de la quilante pestu, se spire plante tableter.
And she fucked it up. Yes, girl.
Oh, that's the first time I've ever heard a cat purr in Français.
Skip the flattery and give me the translation.
From X on the map, walking 50 meters north, then 50 feet right, then try to find a stone that's very tight. What's that supposed to mean, if that's what she said?
Just the opposite of what it says, Joker. The poem says it's a fib. Therefore, we walk 50 meters south, then 50 feet left, then try to find a stone that anyone can lift.
Easy. Enough once you know the key. Shall we go?
We shall, Joker.
And they go. And now we're at Cattail Lane and 9 Lives Alley, which hopefully is designated by a sign, but I guess sometimes it's not. The duo and Batgirl stand beneath the sign. They look quickly around, during which they see the kitty car parked nearby, and they duck into a convenient doorway. How about rushing the place, Batman?
I think not, Robin. So far, all they've done is stolen a few items and attempted to kill you and Batgirl. If they tried to kill me, we'd get upset. Now, we know their plan is bigger than that.
Look, there they come.
From a building entrance, we see that. Then Catwoman and Joker walk out. Both ways they look to see if they are being watched. And they are immediately followed by the 2 henchmen. And then Catwoman says,
Meet us there, boys. The kitty car only holds 2.
The Stooges nod and they leave as Catwoman and Joker slip into the kitty car. Then we're back to the duo and Batgirl. They're getting away!
I've adjusted the radar on the Batmobile to allow us to trace them. By tuning into the sonic emanations of their motor, we can stay as much as 5 miles behind them and still know precisely where they are. Someday people will call this GPS.
The kitty car pulls away.
We'll keep out of their sight until they've reached their destination. Then, and only then, do we pounce, including Batgirl, to the Batmobile.
What about my Batgirl cycle? It's hidden around the corner.
Did I just invite you to ride with us? We'll pick it up later and save time if we all go together.
And it is cozy, and they hightail out. And now we're at the lighthouse, and it is a very pristine setting. There's seagulls flying about and all of that.
Meanwhile, at the leeward end of Phony Island, Catwoman and Joker arrive at the Enoch Lighthouse, a former busy bastion of light, but now almost inoperative.
Catwoman and Joker, we see them. They're by the lighthouse, and then the men walk into the scene. So now we see them too. She holds the nightshirt in front of her.
Now, look for something marked with an X.
They spread out and they're looking. And now we hear some laughter. He stands over a rock.
I found a rock with an X mark.
Good. From here on in, it should be a piece of cake. Brrr.
And then they start walking.
47, 48, 49. There, 50 meters. Now 50 feet left.
And they start walking left. And then we change scenes to the lighthouse main floor, where we find the lighthouse keepers, Mr. and Mrs. Keeper, keeping the lighthouse.
Makes sense.
The trouble with keeping this lighthouse, Mr. Keeper, is that there really is the trouble with keeping this lighthouse, Mr. Keeper, is that there really isn't enough for a lighthouse keeper to keep keeping?
That's how keeper. You just keep cleaning that lighthouse and make sure it's clean.
Damn.
That's all I do. Vacuum the upstairs bedroom. What kind of life is that for a stylish, attractive, sophisticated, intelligent woman?
Well, when you marry me, you know I was the last housekeeper. It's a longer life, I know.
I thought it sounded romantic, but there's nothing romantic about seagulls and shipwrecks.
There's a bit of shipwreck here in a couple of days.
That's a wonder. With the light out that's a wonder. With the light out in the lighthouse, the least a lighthouse keeper might do is keep.
Mrs. Keeper, will you please just stop talking?
Stop talking? Then I'd have nothing to do except vacuum the upstairs bedroom.
And during this, Mr. Keeper just happens to glance out the window.
Well, at least stop talking to me. You can talk to our visitors.
Visitors?
No. There's a bunch of strangers heading in this direction.
Oh, there is. I better get back upstairs and vacuum the bedroom.
So she starts to leave, but you know what? Mr. Keeper is following her with some.
Miss Keeper?
And as they exit, the door opens. See, that's what he's following her with. As they exit, the door opens, and Catwoman, Joker, and the Stooges enter.
I want to be your dog.
Should be around here somewhere, unless I counted wrong.
Maybe feet were smaller in those days.
Giggler and Laughter walk into another room while Catwoman and Joker check the floor for loose stones.
You sure you figured everything?
I never make mistakes.
Giggler and Laughter walk back in, dragging the reluctant keepers along with them.
What we found upstairs, just upstairs.
Unhand me, you underhanded bully!
Oh, what do we have here?
I'm the lighthouse keeper. This is my wife, Miss Keeper. Also, this is my papa.
A lighthouse.
Can't we do that way? Let me redo that, please. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm the housekeeper. This is my wife, Miss Keeper. This is my private property.
A lighthouse? Private property?
Well, public property. You're supposed to keep off.
And he is not having it. So with this, he picks up a broom and starts hitting Joker with it. He is hitting Joker. Joker grabs the handle about halfway up, though, because Joker's also not having it. So Mr. Keeper puts his hand above Joker's, and Joker puts his hand above Keeper's. And they continue this. Like boys choosing up sides, okay, until they run out of handle.
Well, maybe we'll have to start over.
Okay, and now we're at the building with Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. And they're peeking in at the activity.
I think we've heard enough of this shit. Let's get them.
So they walk inside, and now we're back in the lighthouse. And the trio leaps in as Catwoman, Joker, and the Stooges react with shock.
What? No! You're kaput! Fini! Defunct!
We're very much not defunct, Joker. And neither is this chick, Batgirl.
This is some sort of perfidious trick. I'll bet it's done with mirrors.
The mirror's broken, Catwoman. And the last cat crossed our path. From now on, the luck is all with us. So unhand those two helpless people.
And the duo advances menacingly on Joker, Catwoman, Stooges, and Mr. and Mrs. Keeper, all of whom retreat. The Stooges are keeping a tight hold on the Keepers. In their brief retreat, Joker stumbles against something and a section of wall just gives way near the floor level, revealing some stacked mounds of gunpowder bags.
Look! There it is! The gunpowder!
And he's lighting a match.
All clearly marked.
He leans in towards the gunpowder with a lighted match to read the labeling. Gunpowder?
Put out that match, you dumb shit.
He leaps towards Joker, which knocks the lighted match out of Joker's hands and into the gunpowder bags, with the lighted match just lands on them. As smoke starts to billow from the gunpowder, Batgirl says,
It's about to explode.
Let's get out of here.
There isn't time. Just remain calm while we explode, everybody. Just remain calm.
All occupants of the room go into a frozen tableau as the scene starts shaking and accompanying blast is heard. And then there's a shot of a big explosion.
Kablam.
After the opening impact, we do not see what has just happened. But, there should not be any other buildings in the shot. As you're imagining this in your head, there are no other buildings in the shot. It's like a desolate beach area as what happened.
Lighthouse.
After, the explosion. We good? Okay, cool.
Good.
So now the principals are still in their frozen tableau and apparently unharmed, although there is now considerable debris around them. And then Robin says, Holy return from the oblivion, we're still alive.
You're brilliant, Robin. We're still alive. In the split second before the actual detonation of the gunpowder, I was able to infuse this entire room with anti-blast bat powder.
Very clever.
I should say so. But what about the upstairs bedroom? I just vacuumed it.
The city will make it up to you, Mrs. Keeper. They'll take the cost of your home out of Catwoman and Joker's prison pay for making license plates.
That's what you say, Batman. I'd say we'll never see the inside of a prison again.
We're certainly not going to see the inside of a federal depository and all that dough.
Maybe later, Joker, but for now.
Catwoman concludes her sentence to Batman firmly.
I want benefits of counsel.
That's certainly your right, Catwoman.
May I make my one phone call?
Just don't try any of your tricks.
Who are you calling?
Lucky Pierre, world's greatest and luckiest criminal attorney. He's never lost a case.
You have a cell phone?
Mm-hmm. It's just a local call.
Here's a dime. I don't know why, but here's a dime. Here you are, ma'am. I'm going to give you 10 cents and I'm going to let you use my phone.
Oh, thanks, Batman. You're a perfect gentleman.
That's right.
Hello? Lucky? This is Catwoman. Catwoman.
And now we're in Lucky Pierre's office. Lucky Pierre, he's about 40. He's slightly rotund, stands at his old-fashioned roll-top desk. Around his waist, instead of a Phi Beta Kappa key, he wears an enormous rabbit's foot. Above the door, behind him, is a large horseshoe. Pierre's fingers are crossed, and he wears a wishbone in his lapel.
Okay, no problem, fam.
Batman just caught me and the Joker in the middle of a robbery.
Difficult. But not unsurmountable for Lucky Pierre, but keep still and don't utter a meow. I'm going to see you in court. Hey, listen, if all goes well, and knock on wood, we'll have you strung by pussy willow tied. You couldn't see the wink.
What?
Okay, and now we're in the courtroom, okay? And we're on the defendant's table. And all four of our bad people, they are at the table. Pierre sits opposite, his face long. The court is not yet in session.
Not good, huh?
Well, according to the pre-trial briefs, there is positively no way that any jury in their right mind would fail to convict you.
Any jury?
Well, almost any jury. The only way that you could benefit from this rap would be to bribe all of Gotham City. And that takes real dough.
Has the jury been chosen yet?
Batman is in the antechamber examining them right now.
Batman?
Yeah, because of his familiarity with the case, the DA's office just allowed him to up and handle the prosecution. I'll take my turn in a few minutes.
Before you do, phone these 12 people and have them get down here right away.
She hands him a list. He reads it, and then he looks staggered as we change scenes. And now we're in the courtroom still. And Batman, in his role of a prosecuting attorney, addresses the jury. And he says,
Hold on. Oh, I had to skip the page. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we are gathered here today to prove that Catwoman, Joker, and their men are guilty of several major offenses. To wit, robbery, attempted murder, assault and battery, mayhem, malicious mischief, and overtime parking. For my first witness, I call on little Louis Groovy, man.
And while Batman's speaking, let's look at the jury. And let me tell you, it is 12 of the most evil-looking people you've ever seen, both male and female. Also, now let's look at Robin, Batgirl, and Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara at the prosecution table. And now Catwoman, Joker, and the Stooges and Pierre are at the defendant's table still. Catwoman is there too. I already said that. The judge is behind the bench, and a court clerk and other appropriate courtroom personnel are in the room, so you can see who's there.
He really knows how to handle himself in court, Commissioner.
Giving him special instructions and tours. Rebellions and accusers accusing cases. First witness. Little Louis Groovy, take the stand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Groovy.
Batman walks to Louis.
On the afternoon of July 22nd, were you not robbed of a very valuable nightshirt, and was not assault committed on you? Talking to you, Louis.
Yeah.
Are the people who performed those dastardly deeds present in this room? Louis!
Yeah.
Will you point them out?
Those cats over there. The chick with the swinging outfit and the creep with the green hair and those two clowns.
For the record, witness is pointing to the defendants.
And now Batgirl leans into Robin. Her speech is with awe.
He's so authoritative, so confident.
The more you work with Batman, the more amazing he seems.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
No cross-examination.
I now call Carnaby Cats to the stand.
Then Pierre says,
no cross-examination.
Katz steps down. Then Batman looks into the crowd.
For my final witnesses, I'd like to call Mr. and Mrs. North.
The old couple both walk forward.
No cross-examination.
Mr. and Mrs. North step down and walk into the crowd. Batman walks to his table, which, again, includes Robin, Batgirl, Commissioner Gordon, and Chief O'Hara.
I can't understand what his tactics are. He hasn't cross-examined one of my witnesses.
He has something up his sleeve, all right. They don't call him Lucky Pierre for nothing. And now we're looking at Pierre, Catwoman, and Joker.
This is ridiculous. Are you going to offer some sort of defense?
I know what I'm doing, Joker.
You're doing fine, Lucky. Keep your cool. Batman's summing up. Is he in for a surprise?
Well, we're looking at the courtroom, and Batman is striding up to the jury.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you've heard the evidence of 14 eyewitnesses, including Robin, the Boy Wonder, and Batgirl, the Batgirl Wonder. Each one of them has corroborated, let me say that again, corroborated the other's story, that those four defendants are guilty. guilty of all the crimes with which they are charged. In the interest of the law, order, justice, good fellowship, and the flag, you must convict them. Our streets must be kept safe from evil persons such as these. Thank you.
And let me tell you, Batman he did what he came here to do, okay? So he just walks back to his table. Robin pumps his hand. Batgirl kisses him on the cheek. Chief O'Hara and Commissioner Gordon lean over as well because they are just all stunned. Then Robin says, "You were great, Batman."
You know it, Robin.
Then Commissioner Gordon says,
Yes, you learned your lesson well, Batman.
Bagora.
Lucky Pierre is standing. Now he's going to let us have it.
Well, first let me say thank you to the Reverend Batman for that impassioned closing argument. Defense would like to waive summation. We stand on our pleas of not guilty, and we feel the jury will hear out the truth in this case.
all right, he was right. So we're going to close in on the judge, who says,
So be it. Jury is ordered to the jury room for deliberation.
close in on the jury. The foreman stands up. And you know what? He has a large mustache. And he says,
No need for that, Your Honor. We have already made up our minds.
so they're not even gonna, decide or deliberate anymore, but that's fine. So we're gonna look at the terrific trio. And then in that trio, Batgirl says,
That's a good sign. There should be some sort of legal record for convictions by a jury.
Foreman says,
We find the defendants, Catwoman, Joker, Giggler, and Laughter,
everything.
not guilty of any charges.
A big whoop and a holler goes up. Catwoman, Joker, they begin pumping Pierre's hand. They are pumping it. The henchmen dance around. We have no idea what's happening because everybody is just out of here, okay? And then we look at Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. Batman is stunned. He just sits at the table. His head is down.
There's something very catfishy about this whole thing, Batman.
I think it's a fix, Batman.
That's really the law is, Robin. They received a fair trial, and they've been judged not guilty. Every man is entitled to his day in court. We must abide by the jury's decision.
And you know what? By this time, chaos has broken loose in this courtroom. People are whooping and hollering. People are crying and laughing. And, there's just a lot happening. And the judge is pounding the gavel.
Order! Order, I say!
The
Order
jury
in
is
the
standing
court!
in their box. The judge says one more time.
Order! 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 God damn it, I say order in the court!
And everyone quiets down. The judge will be in charge. The judge looks sternly at the jury.
Nope. Normally, after any case, I never make a statement to the jury. However, today I cannot resist. Never in my 30 years on the Gotham City bench have I ever seen a more callous disregard for the facts in a case. You are all to be chastised for making a travesty of the judicial process.
Yeah, they're bad.
Is speaking some truth But his mustache is kind of falling off just a little bit, so I was a little kind of confused.
So, Judge, the case is over, so quit flapping your yap.
And now we're looking at Robin, Batgirl, and Batman. And Batman's head is still in his hands. Robin is looking at what is happening. And so is Batgirl. Hey, that's no Foreman. That's Marvin the Moose. He used to work with Catwoman. Batman looks up.
And that second fellow, he's a bad guy too. That second guy, it's Dave the Dummy. I didn't do anything bad. He also worked with Catwoman.
He sure did. So then Batman stands and he walks to the judge. And Batman says,
Your Honor, I move for a new trial.
And the judge responds with,
Your Honor, I'm talking to you, Judge.
Okay, Batman, are you done crying like a bitch? On which of several grounds?
On the grounds of a prejudicial jury.
And then Catwoman responds with,
You don't know how prejudicial, Batman. All right now.
And then the foreman removes a machine gun. Okay, one more time. The foreman removes a machine gun from under his seat, and he stands and covers the courtroom. And as the foreman holds this gun over the rest of the room, Catwoman and Joker start leading their associates out. And then Batman, he's over here. He's standing behind Robin, and he takes out his bat rope because, he always is ready. And now with a flourish, he flicks that bat rope. And now this rope, it just winds around the foreman's gun, just magically, and it jerks it out of his hand. Okay, I cannot make this stuff up.
I did it.
And now they're fighting, and it's a battle to end all battles, I tell you, with the, usual, like, oohs and ahs. And, some policemen quickly cover the jury with their guns, and some of the jury manage to slip in a fight. I don't know, they're throwing punches too. Robin, Batman, and Batgirl cover the exit, and they force Catwoman, Joker, and the judge and the henchmen to back to the open area in front of the judge. Giggler is immediately dropped by a rap from the judge's gavel because the judge is getting in there too. Okay, Batman tosses Joker across the low railing, and that railing collapses. It is done. Batgirl brains laughter with assorted law books because we're always studying, and they were just on the table. Okay, Batman swings across the room on a chandelier and sends Giggler flying into the witness seat. The judge pours water from his pitcher over laughter. Catwoman tries to sneak out, and Batman, he tackles her. Okay, just as Batwoman is about to sneak out, and just as Catwoman is about to sneak out, and Batgirl just tackles her. Batwoman is about to... Just as Batgirl is about to wrap Catwoman and is knocked out on the bean by Giggler, who hits her with a chair. Okay, the battle goes on and on and on as the jury, held in check by the police, watch and cheer for the bad guys. What is happening? Then the audience in the courtroom cheers and yells for our side, which is good. And then finally, as the battle concludes, the courtroom is in shambles. Okay, Batman, Robin, and Batgirl survey the damage. In the center of the room, Giggler and Laughter, they're completely out of it. Lucky Pierre has taken off. He is out of the building, and Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara are rounding up the culprits. Then the trio walk to the side and they kneel down, and Catwoman says,
Where am I?
On the road to prison, Catwoman. Will you never learn that the law cannot be outwitted?
Someday I may, Batman. Perhaps.
You'll never succeed in circumventing justice, Catwoman.
Not as long as honesty and dedicated law enforcers have a breath left.
Forget the moral. Just keep us, just take us back to jail. We don't have to hear those corny jokes. Ha.
Then Batman says,
Morals. Oops. But morals are the stuff men are made of, not women. And until criminals understand that, and women too, our job will not be done. However, once it happens, we'll be only too ready to hang up our capes and cowls.
they help Catwoman and Joker to their feet and they lead them away. And then we fade to black.
Cabra fever!
Shibablam.
Shit. Let me find out we have Mr. David Nolan over here.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a brand new soundtrack artist over here, Mr. David Nolan. You didn't know he's part of the Christopher Nolan family. He's just like that.
Or is it?
Hey man, could you cue up a little Watusi, or Batusi? I'm sorry, not Watusi. But a little Batusi.
No, like, seriously? Amazing.
That was really
Just
fun.
Amazing.
What? It was me the whole time.
Having a good time. It was oh my God, it was Bobby the whole time?
What?
Look,
What? Bobby?
Jeez. So now we know where you live, so we're going to your house.
Oh, no, Bobby.
Here now we know Bobby Smith is Batman.
There you go. Now you know.
Woo!
Nice.
Even
The
that
Batgirl
mask,
cycle.
even that mask is hot, you guys. Even I pity Batman. All he does for us, and he wears that mask. We should be kissing his ass.
And on that note,
Here's to you, Batman.
I want to thank everyone who has been watching, and thank you more than before, especially because it is today. And because we had a couple technical difficulties, I want to thank you guys so very much for tuning in, for staying on, and thank the cast for being a part of this special episode of Cabin Fever Radio. Again, because we do have a very large cast, I will say again, thank you, Robert Christopher Smith. Thank you, Rob Fury. Thank you, Jess Burnell. Thank you, David Ross, for being this your first show and taking on the energy from the rest of the cast. Thank you, Braxton Ray, for the amazing action reads. And thank you, Mariah Hart. Thank you, Marissa Martin.
It's Mariah Martin.
Mariah Martin, double M.
And you will not be seeing me next week, people. That was it. Thanks for joining.
Last one, yeah.
By the way,
had to throw that in.
You had 3
Batman.
spanks and I gave you 12.
Yeah.
So I'm done 3 times over, guys.
Thank you, Marissa Martin, for being a part of this.
The blood on the page was not from the writers. It was from my new guy. Dave Ross.
Ha.
Are we going to talk about next week, or are we going to just?
Ooh, we are going to talk about
Give 'em a
next
little
week, but on our post show, as soon as we
It's
go
gotta be
into our
sacred.
post
Oh,
show,
Can't
it's
do it
in
out
the
public.
post show.
it's in the
Can't get
post
off
show what
public.
we're going to do next week. We
The
will
next
give you a
4
quick little
weeks.
hint. Thank you, Marissa Martin, for casting what we're going to do next week, and it will be a 4-parter. That's what you guys get. So stay tuned and look at the different at all the links in the description, so you could keep up to date with all the different things that we're doing, like Vengeance Turns merch,
Batman loves Vengeance Turns.
Cabin Fever Radio
VengeanceTurns.com.
updates, all the different shows that are happening during the week, like Comic Book Corner, Wild Love.
Batman loves Comic Book Corner.
Yes, he really does, especially because it's not Batman, as you know.
Bruce Wayne.
As well as we are coming up with a couple new shows that we're going to be piloting in the coming weeks. But stay tuned. Go check out cabinfeverradio.com for all the different shows, all the different archives from the different seasons that we're in. This is part of season 3. Three.
Uno, dos, tres.
Three. Yeah, but this one, my pinky hurts when it.
Well, actually, today, whilst happening in the midst of season 3, is not technically part of a season at all. It's what you call a standalone. It's like a bottle episode or something. It's like if you're watching The Walking Dead and the episode's only about the one guy or the one girl, but not everybody. It's like that kind of episode. It's out of continuity.
I believe this is what we call a filler episode.
Oh, that's what it's called. Not a cold open.
You guys.
Oh, well, then I'm super excited to have been a part of it. I didn't know it was a filler episode. I mean, my God, that changes everything. Yeah.
I'm glad I could do a filler episode.
I'm so honored, you guys. Thank you.
Agent. You fucked me, agent.
It sounds a lot better as a special episode.
It was a blast.
So thank you guys.
I don't normally get so drunk on a normal episode, so this is quite
neither do I. I do.
Treat.
It's a holiday treat.
It's definitely a holiday treat.
It's a treat.
So again, check out Cabin Fever Radio, and if you want to support the show, you can go to our Patreon and be part of the Patreon crew by going to patreon.com/Cabin Fever Radio. And there you get to see exclusive content that you only see on Patreon, like our post show, where we talk a little bit more in depth of what we're going to do in the next couple of weeks. We just jibber jabber. You get to see some behind the scenes and some of the things that we're working on. But again, only if you are part of the Patreon crew.
And the important part of that is pay.
Patreon. Yeah.
Patreon.
Yeah.
It helps us, it feeds us, and it lets us do this, as well as pay the people that are a part of the show. And again, we have gone a long way from our first episode of Cabin Fever Radio till today. We've grown a lot. We've learned a lot. And it's all thanks to you guys for making it happen. So thank you.
Mariah Free with season 3.
Yes. Speaking of Mariah, what are we going to do on the post show? We'll soon find out. So please stay tuned for that. And if everybody's ready, we could go on to the post show. So thank you guys so much. This has been Cabin Fever Radio signing off.
No, but I'm really not coming back.
Oh no, it was real.